Hello everyone, welcome back to Purple Rose Crafts. Today we're going to talk knitted increases. We have different ways to knit increases today. Here we have our yarn over increase, which is the first one I'm going to show you. It is this nice and simple one. It gives you these nice beautiful holes on the side. We are doing ours on the outside of each of our patterns so you guys can see how the increase works. You can do the increases up the middle and it gives it a bit of a different look as well. We're applying increases after the first stitch and before the last stitch. You want to knit one row on the way back. That's just going to solidify things, okay? So you're not going to increase on every single row. All right, so to do our yarn over increase, we are going to insert our needle to knit our first stitch, and then bring your yarn to the front, and basically you're going to knit the next stitch but with your yarn in the front, so it's going to come over top and then around the back to knit that next stitch over. Then we're going to knit the rest of the row to the last stitch, and we're going to do that yarn over again. This one doesn't have a difference for left and right leaning, it's just a yarn over. So let's do that one more time and then we'll move on to the next one. So we knit the first stitch and then bring our yarn to the front and knit the next one. So bring it around the top and around the back of the stitch. We do have an option though to do a reverse yarn over, and I'll show you that now. We're going to bring our yarn around our loop like so. So we're going to bring it to the front first, over our knitting needle, okay? And then back to the back so we can knit that last stitch. Okay, so yarn over only works if there's at least one stitch left at the end of the row. We have our yarn over increase here, our standard one, which gives us our nice hole. Over here on the left, we have less of a hole. So you can see here's our regular yarn over, and then there's our reverse yarn over. So it just gives a little tiny one here at the bottom. So you can choose which one you want to do. So standard yarn over here on the right, and then our last one here on the left, which is our reverse yarn over. All right, so our next increase, this is a cast on increase. This one is done in a garter stitch section. It doesn't make a difference whether it's garter or stockinette. Okay, so we're gonna cast on one stitch after the first stitch and before the last stitch on each row. So we're gonna knit our first one, and now we're gonna do our looped cast on that we've done in a previous video. So we loop our yarn around like so and put it over our needle, cinch it down, and then keep knitting. All right, so knit the second to last stitch, bring our yarn, give it a twist so that the tail is over top of the one that comes off of our stitch, loop it over, and then you can cinch it down tight. And then knit our last stitch, like so. And we're gonna keep working our knit section back and forth. So then the next row on the way back, we're just going to knit every stitch, okay? Including those newly casted on stitches, right? Just like that. We just knit right over top. You might want to put a stitch marker at the beginning of your row for this one, because you're gonna wanna mark the new row that you're gonna do your increases on versus the row that you're going to just knit. This is what it looks like when we are doing our cast on stitches. You can see we have this extra loop heading up across our work, and that is normal of our cast on. So that is increase number 2. Increase number 3 is the knit front and back and knit back and front, or bar increase. For this one, you can see these are our bars that happen when you knit the back of the stitch, okay? So this is our knit the front, and then the bar happens here when we knit the back of the stitch. And it happens on the back stitch here as well. So you can see the bars here on this side as well. So this is set of increases number 3. Then we will do our lifted increase. So stick around, we're gonna do our lifted increases next. And then our final one will be our make one left and right. So we are knitting the first one, and then we're gonna knit the second. It's normal, but don't loop this stitch off, okay? Now we're gonna bring it back like so and knit through the back side of the loop like that. And then, so knit that stitch as well, okay? And we'll do this one more time. So knit the first stitch, and then we're gonna knit the second, and then we're gonna bring our needle back around and catch the back leg here like so, and then knit that one, and then we're gonna loop our stitch off our needle. And then when we get to our second last stitch, we're gonna do our knit back and then front. So now we're gonna knit through the back of the loop like so, bring our yarn up, and don't loop off our stitch from the left-hand side. And now we're going to knit through the front. Okay, so on the left, on the right side here, you can see we have a stitch. We have our edge stitch here, and then we have our stitch going up, and then we have our bars for our increases. This one is happening basically the same way. We're seeing our bars here, but our knit stitch is on the inside for this one. So just a touch different from one side to the other. So that is our knit front and back or bar increase. And if you guys want to see the picture tutorial for all of this, of course it will be linked in the blog post below. Moving right along, increase number 4 is our lifted increase. So this is the example of our lifted increase. I've done several rows of it, and we are going to knit our first stitch. So now we're going to lift our stitch, not the stitch that's on our needle, the one just below it. We're going to pick it up and put it back on our needle, and now we're going to knit it again in this row. Okay, loop it off per normal, and then knit the next stitch beside it. All right, so one more time, knit the first stitch. Now we're going to do our lifted increase here. So we're going to pick up the right leg of our stitch below the one on our needle, pick it up, back on our left needle, and knit it again, and then knit the next one. Okay, so here we are, we have 2 stitches left. So this is where we're going to do our increase. So we are going to knit our stitch. So this is the stitch we just finished. So we're going to come down to the one below. So pick it up with your right needle. You're going to come down, pick up the loop like so, and then insert your needle into the center of it. So it's going to twist a little bit, and you're going to end up with the right hand side leg on the front of your loop. Okay, now we can knit it normal, and it's going to sit flat when we put it back down. So we don't want it to twist at the end there. Okay, all right, so here we have last 3 stitches. One more. All right, last 2 stitches on our needle. All right, so now this one we're gonna knit the stitch first, and then we're gonna pick up the stitch. Okay, so this is the one that just came off our needle, so we want the one below that. So we're gonna pick up this one here, and then we're gonna insert our needle into the center to turn the stitch so that we've got our leg here coming to the front. So this way when we knit it, it's gonna lay flat like a regular knit stitch. So you can see there we have this lovely knitted increase up the left hand side. So this is our left lifted, and this one here on the right hand side is our right lifted increase. This one is a favorite, and we're going to do it in this nice summer shawl coming up here in a video coming up really soon. Go ahead and hit subscribe if you made it all the way to the end here, and you might also like this video here posted on the screen now and this playlist. So check those out next. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time.